Hey, we're here at Captain Charlie Thomas in Silverside Lodge, and it's barely 9:30. We're already back with an ice chest full of redfish. You know, fishing out of Hopedale this time of year is awesome because you can head far east to the salty water and speckled trout, or you can go back in the marsh and the fresher waters and catch gobs of redfish, a few trout, and some largemouth bass. That's what we did this morning. The fishing action was fantastic on a beautiful day. Hardly any wind today. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of tide movement, but actually Charlie used that lack of tide to his advantage. Take a look and see how you can do the same right now in late May and early June down here in the Hopedale area.
Got him, Pat? There he is. Oh, man.
Redfish, Pat?
Redfish. Now, just another prime example, and this is the neat thing, y'all, when you come down to areas like this, Delacroix, Hopedale, anywhere along the Gulf Coast. You see it's broken a marsh. We got an island here, and then we got like a bay in here that's all full of grass. These reds are just going up and down along this grass, and what we're doing is we're picking them off. Remember, when you pop into cork, you want to leave it in the same spot. Pop, pop, because what you're going to do is you're going to call the fish to you, is what you're going to do. Nice one, Pat. Here, I'll grab him. Yeah, another nice one, man. These are all perfect little eating size. Wow. Oh, wait, hold on. Speckled trout.
Charlie, how many trout you've been running into back here fishing red?
I'll tell you, every day I'm catching probably 15-ish, something like that. And they're, you know, most of the trout that are in here aren't, there you go, Pat. Oh, Pat's got a red, look at that. Literally, Pat threw right in the same hole that I just caught this speckled trout on. And he's got a redfish on, a nice one too. And the thing is that in here, there's gonna be everything. There's gonna be speckled trout, there's gonna be redfish, there's gonna be sheephead, there's gonna be drum. And that's the neat thing about it is that if you don't have a boat that can, you know, really kind of come out in these areas, you know, the Black Bay, or Breton Sound, you know, you hear all the people in the summertime fishing, you don't have to. You just gotta understand it. You're not gonna go out and hit them all at one spot. You gotta jump around and get them. Windy days compared to flat, calm days, when you're fishing a cork around islands, interior marshes like this, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, if you've got calm days, you have to remember that you're gonna spook the fish. If you pop the cork too hard, you're aggressively fishing it, you gotta almost fish it as if you were fishing a small topwater. You just kind of doop, doop, pop it a couple times, pop it a couple times. You wanna make the noise, but you don't wanna make big pops. Whereas if it was really windy, I would always fish the windy bank. And then what I would do is I would pop the cork a lot, leaving it in the same spot where the fish can hear it, they come up to it, and they feed. I find that fish feed a lot more aggressive when we have a little bit of wind compared to a day that's slick calm like today. And the reason for that is, I think, is that fish, they notice the hooks, they notice the line a lot easier. When you have windy conditions, you know, the light, you know, going through the water and everything, the light, oh, I think he ate a cork. And the light and everything that comes through the water, it's broken up. The fish can't really tell, you know, they know it's a shrimp, but they can't really tell what's on it, what's going on, and they'll feed a lot more aggressively. But I definitely like a windier day than a calm day, but today's calm and we're doing really well. So, you know, sometimes it just works out. Wait, let me scoop that one up. Joe's got one too. We got one in the net, him coming in one, I just threw one in the box. But this just shows, we came down this entire bank, which is probably about, I don't know, 200 yards. We came down this bank and we caught just a few sporadically down here. We get to a point that has current coming around it. It's a falling tide rolling around, and guess what? The fish are stacked right there because this is the only spot we have a little bit of current moving where the bait is concentrating, the fish are schooling up, and guess what? We're throwing shrimp in there and feeding it to them. And that's what you have to look for. We could have came straight to this spot, but I didn't know that the current was running around this. I actually had to come down the bank and find the point that had current. And I'll tell you what else helped me too. There was a light breeze that started blowing compared to being still. If it was still, I would have never known that current was coming around there. Now that wind is blowing against that current, causing a little ripple in the water. It shows me the current, shows me where the fish are going to be, and that'll make you a better angler. Get him, Pat. Now, this is just another scenario. Look how pretty this fish is, Pat. This is just another scenario right here. You're right, he's copper colored. But I mean, this goes to show y'all right here, this fish right here. We just caught 3 or 4 fish off of here. And if you look out, you can see the currents going up into this little bay right here. And we got some water movement. Every spot that we're hitting where they've got water movement going around it, because there's not a lot today, we're catching fish. So remember, put that in your mind. When you're an angler, if it's low tidal conditions, you're not going to have a bunch of fish that are going to be around because the tide's not running. Remember, if you find the places that have just a little bit of tide, your catch is going to just go way up by, applying that technique.